信を確認。
Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with a new video. Now in today's video I will be making another video on this brand new game that will be coming out in a couple of hours. As you can see right now, there is a timer showing you when this game will be officially out. So what I'm going to be doing is going over a certain team that I feel like will clear through most of the content in this game very easy. There's a bunch of like solid characters in this game, and I feel like if you have most of these characters, your team is going to be fully stacked with like survivability, huge amount of damage, and you should be able to clear through the content with relatively ease. Now obviously the characters I will be talking about, there is going to be a bunch of UR characters. However, I will try and give you guys some alternatives if you guys don't have enough well, if you guys don't get all these UR characters. But this team, I feel like you need 3 of these UR characters you must have, because they are absolutely fantastic and will help you very much in clearing through your content. Stay tuned for more content on Revived, which when this game comes out I will be making several other content on this game, covering other like reroll guides, covering progression guides, beginners guides, and how to actually progress in this game. So if you guys want to get notified when those videos goes out, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, make sure that post notification is on as well, so you guys don't miss out on any of those videos, because trust me, if you miss out on those videos, you're going to be putting yourself at a very bad position and a very bad spot. Let's get right into it. So obviously you already know in this game there's a bunch of different type of characters. There is destroyers, assassin, guardians, healers, mage, and compellers. If you want to make a successful team, I guess you could go ahead and build or put characters from destroyer, 1 character from destroyer, 1 character of assassin, 1 character from guardian, 1 healer, 1 mage, and 1 compeller. Now with Revived Witch, you can actually have a team of 6 units, which is good because you can have 6 different characters that bring you guys different abilities that will hopefully or ultimately help you clear through the content. So one of the characters I will be talking about is Ella. Obviously this team is going to be very hard to form at the start of the game, but eventually I would recommend you guys to build this type of characters, build them so that you guys can have a solid team that is very broken. The first character we're going to be taking a look at is Ella. Now Ella is a destroyer type character. This is her art, and we can take a look at the skills right now. So with her ultimate skill or special skill, deals physical damage equal to 240% of attack to all enemies, deals spell debuff, amazing, reduce the attack by 20%, nice debuff for 5 seconds. When in dragon form, also reduces the physical defense by 30% of Ella's attack for 10 seconds. So with this ability, she absolutely strips the characters of the buff, from the attack, from the defense, and they are completely naked, and it'll be easier to actually deal damage on that enemy and easier to kill them. So with that ability, overall, you can already tell that this character is already a must-have in my opinion. Not really so sure how you're going to be able to summon for her. Is she going to be in the new banner, the first banner you can go ahead and summon for? Because if she is, this will be the character to reroll for besides a fallen. Moving on to the next ability, which is a trust form ability. Normal attack deals the damage to all enemies, increases Ella's damage dealt by 30% and her max HP by 50%. This will be the buff that she gets, which is going to be absolutely nice. Now scrolling down, let's take a look at the passive. Recovers 2.5% of max HP per second and reduces damage taken by 10%. Now obviously this character is going to be solid in any team you guys want to build. This character is definitely going to be #1 best character in the game in my opinion. I am saying this right now. She is going to be #1 best character based on what I can see right now with her abilities, the debuff that she brings, the buff in her attack, and the fact that she can also the fact that she also has a passive that increases her survivability is truly amazing. The recovery of max HP, obviously you pair that up with a healer, that is going to be very stunning. So that is practically why I feel like Ella is going to be a solid character in this team I would recommend. Obviously you don't have to build this team to utilize Ella too well. She doesn't require any other units to make her better. She requires herself, and she also requires a healer to help with the her survivability. Moving on to the next character, A Fallen. A Fallen is going to be relatively easier to reroll for, because they give you 100 summons where you can, it's a reroll summon where you can actually pick the reroll the summon you like. And I would recommend you guys to pick A Fallen with another SSR character, hopefully the compeller characters. There is so many good SSR compeller characters, not compeller, mage characters that you can actually go for. So yeah, A Fallen would recommend you guys rerolling for her. She is a solid guardian character. Guardian characters are basically your tank, so So A Fallen will fulfill the tank role in this team. So let's go ahead and take a look at her support barrier over here. So generates a shield equals to 24% of max HP and takes all damage dealt to allies within the next 10 seconds, during which physical defense and physical magical defense are increased by 54%, and for the first 2 seconds she is immune to all damage. Now overall, this skill is stacked as well. Your characters are less likely to die, they're going to be buffed up, very hard to deal damage to. And if you go over to the next ability that she has, deal magic attack equal to 300% of attack to all enemies, deal spells the buff and reduces their magical defense by 40% of A Fallen's magical defense for 10 seconds. This is going to be a solid debuff as well. The fact that she can dispel all buffs is going to be nice as well. There's so far 2 characters that can do that now in this team. There's going to be the Ella and it's also going to be the A Fallen. You can switch between those characters if you want to dispel the buff, make it easier to deal damage to that enemy, and she's also able to reduce the magical defense as well. So not only is she a great tank, she's also has an ability that can debuff enemies. Going over to her passive, auto cast Holy Radiance once after taking damage 15 times. A Fallen is going to be the designated tank of this team, and there is like 4 key members of this team, Ella being one, A Fallen being the damage dealer slash a little bit of debuff ability, A Fallen being the tank unit that you guys are going to require, and next we're going to be taking a look at the healer that is going to be designated for this team. Now the healer of this team is going to be Turnell. Now the 4 key members that I'm going to talk about, they are characters that ultimately can be put in any other team, but if you put them all together in one solid team, they can really work well together. So Turnell will be the healer of this team and she's absolutely broken. She's also, I believe, one of those characters you can reroll for with the 100 free reroll summon. You can go ahead and pick her up, but I personally would say pick a Fallen from that, and then hopefully you can actually pull her from other banners. Now what makes her very good is the fact that her healing ability is top notch. So heals all allies, blah blah blah, so a huge AoE attack, and she also grants them with shield, which is going to help them survive. Going over to this ability on the right, heal all allies as well. She's also able to increase the attack, so a solid buff ability by 24%. And she's also able to increase the overall damage dealt by a further 15%. So not only does she heal, she also gives a solid buff as well. Overall going to help out with Ella when Ella is dealing her huge amount of damage. Now one of the best passive in this entire game is this one over here, which is generates 1 chaos energy every 4 seconds. Personally, I think this is absolutely broken if you guys want to do your attack multiple times. So this is why I feel like she's going to be helpful in your team as well. Overall, very solid healer character. Next up, we have the designated compeller of this team. We have a Minami. Now she is a UR character, so far 4 of the key UR characters I would recommend you guys to go ahead and pick. Now she also has an healing capability, which means your team are less likely to die. So with her Radiant Will, generates 1 older energy and heal all allies for 258% of attack. Also increases all allies attack by 15%. So this bounces off well with Turnell's attack. Now I'm not really sure if buff can actually stack. So with Turnell, she can also buff up the attack. It says 15% here, but if you bounce that off with the Turnell's buff as well, that could be a further increase to damage. However, a further increase to attack. However, I'm not really sure at the moment if those buffs stack up well, but if they do stack, I absolutely think that both of them are going to be absolutely amazing together. Moving on to her charge ability, deal magical attack equal to 270% of attack to all enemies, so very nice AoE attack, and increases the magic damage taken by 30% for 10 seconds. Solid buff slash debuff ability, very nice in your team. Going over to her passive, increases all allies damage dealt by 10% for 5 seconds up to 20%. She is definitely going to be the designated buffer for this team. This ability are very nice. She is going to be the buffer and the character that overall will make your team absolutely better. So overall, I feel like this character will work well the most in any team. She will work well. She doesn't require a specific team. Overall, going to be one of the best support class character in the game because of the buffing capability, as well as she's also able to heal. I would say pair her up with Turnell to have a very good combo, and your team will be solid. So far, those are the 4 main characters I would recommend people to go ahead and use together in one team. And now we have 2 other places that we can fit in with other characters. Now, because I want to make this team very easy to get, obviously with 4 UR characters, it's not already easy, but I don't want to add more UR characters, so I'm going to be moving on to a bunch of SSR characters that I feel will work well in this team. Next up, we have Sophia. Obviously, I butchered this character's name, but she is a solid dark waifu. Obviously, that's not the main reason why I feel like she will make this team very good. I feel like she performs an ability, or has an ability that is very unique, and you don't see that many of. And she's actually a DOT character. She stacks a bunch of poison, which isn't the main purpose of a kit in my opinion, or the main reason why you want this character in your team. The main reason why you want this character in your team is the ability to stun. So going over to her passive, it says Venom Eruption stuns the enemy for 0.5 seconds. So basically, if she's able to do this Venom Eruption multiple times, it does cost quite a bit. However, if you guys can plan this out, you will be stunning the enemy with a few seconds, which is going to be very important if you guys want to clear through some of the content in this game. Stunning ability, she's one of those rare characters in this game that can actually do that, and she's also a DOT character. I wouldn't say you can build a DOT team in this game. I'm not sure if you can or you should. Maybe in the future they will add other DOT characters in this game, so you can actually use her in a better team. However, I feel like the stunning capability is going to be important in this team, and eventually you might be useful. And yeah, so she is going to be a character I'll put on the back line, so that just in case you need that stun ability, you can actually deploy her and use it. Because I feel like this team is slightly lacking in the damage department, I want to add another good DPS character, so we have Yui. Now, Yui is another SSR character that I feel will work well in your team. She is a destroyer type character, and I've just realized I didn't add any assassin character. Maybe there is a place you can actually put assassin characters. I'll probably go over one assassin character you guys can go ahead and go for, but I believe the best assassin character in this game is a UR character. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to add too many UR characters in one particular team. Now, why do I feel like Yui is going to be a great character to add? Well, because we have a bunch of debuffers, we have a bunch of buffer characters, we have one DPS character, which was the LR. But I feel like if you want to add another damage to your team, you should add Yui. The reason why is if you go over to her skill, so the Demon's Bane Spear, deal physical damage equal to 300% of attack to a single target and dispel all of their buffs, which, yeah, I already said there's 2 other characters in this team that can dispel buff, but the attack is what you want to focus on this character. Moving on to the next ability she has, reduces damage taken by 18% and increases the Shadow Bane's damage by 50%, which is going to be great. However, it does cost quite a bit as well. 5, damn, that is a lot. Yui also enters Soulbreaker status. Soulbreaker is basic attack turns into consecutive piercing, dealing damage equal to 195% of Yui's attack. So overall, her damage increases significantly. Moving on to a passive, reduces magic damage taken by 10%. Also ignores the enemy's physical defense equal to 20% of Yui's attack for 10 seconds after using Demon's Blade and Bane Spear. So overall, all of her skills work well together. So if all of this are stacked up perfectly well, the Demon's Bane Spear attack is going to deal a huge amount of single damage. So yeah, ultimately going to be a great character to have in your team. Like I stated, this team that I've gone over so far doesn't incorporate an assassin character. That is because the only good assassin, well, there is other good assassin character, but Akasha isn't a character I would recommend you guys to reroll for. I believe she would actually be the first banner character, so immediately you just go into the game, she's going to be the main banner character you can summon for. I probably will summon on the banner, not to get her, but to get the other UR characters. I believe when you do 2 multis or 3 multis, you are guaranteed a UR character, and I'm gonna hope it isn't Akasha, because yeah, she isn't gonna be the character I'm looking forward to. But yeah, she is gonna be a great single target attacker or assassin. However, ultimately, I feel like other characters are just going to be better. But if you guys want to incorporate an assassin character, this will probably be it. So let's go over and round up this team. So Ella for Destroyer character, she is going to be your main DPS unit alongside a quick dispel of buff. Moving on to the tank in the team is going to be a Fallen, very strong Guardian character. Moving on to your healer, you have Turnell. She is going to be a perfect healer with amazing buff as well. Next up, we have one of the best buffer slash debuffer character, Minami. She is going to be very good in the team. And for SSR characters are going to be amazing. We have Assyria because she can stun, and we also have Yui for great single target damage. So yeah, hopefully that is very helpful if you guys are planning to make a very strong team. This is going to be ultimately going to be the team I plan to make in the future. But when I reroll, I do aim to get at least 3 UR character, 1 from the 100 summon and 1 from the banner within like 1 multi, and then I'll play a couple of minutes or play in the game, try and grind up enough currencies to do a couple more summons and hopefully get the other good characters. But the main 2 characters I'm going to reroll for is definitely going to be for A Fallen. I also will go on a reroll for the SSR of Yui or Assyria, and I'm also going to reroll for the UR Ella if I can, if she is in the banner with Akasha. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I did go over one of the strongest teams that you guys can actually build in the game. Tell me down in the comment section if you guys are going to plan, or you guys are planning to make this team, or do you guys disagree with what I said. It's been your boy AC Gamer, and I'm out.
Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me? All of the noise turned into choirs of harmony.